Welcome. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First off, I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year and I hope you have a healthy and safe 2023. Motion to approve the minutes of the December 8th, 2022 regular board meeting, the December 22nd, 2022 public hearing to consider the establishment of the Commercial Rehabilitation District, and the December 22nd, 2022 special board meeting. You have minutes of each in your packet.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Is there support?
I second.
So moved, supported that we approve the minutes of the December 8th, 2022 regular board meeting, December 22nd, 2022 public hearing, and the December 22, 2022 special board meeting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Being none, carried. You've received your treasurer's report. Any comments? Place that on file. The planning commission meeting minutes are provided. The November 2nd meeting, December 7th public hearing, December 7th public hearing for special use, and December 7th regular meeting. Any comments on any of those, Guy?
No.
Okay. The zoning board of appeals had their organizational meeting. Those minutes have been provided. Any comments on those? Okay. Anyone with anything to bring before the board at this time? Sure,
Okay.
sure.
You go ahead and start.
Well, I'd like to introduce Doug Berry. He's the manager, is that the title? Of the Orchard Beach State Park. He's here to give us a little update on the proposed Orchard Beach State Park, Friends of Orchard Beach State Park project for the ADA accessible campground, or playground.
Yeah, well, we have some good news. Just before Christmas, we found out that we received a trust fund, the DNR trust fund of $300,000 for the playground. So now we have $600,000. And I think the original plan we showed you, the conceptual plan, was for a $450,000 playground. So we have to redesign that, which is a good thing, I guess. It's a good problem to have. And boy, we had a really good celebration through the holidays. And I want to thank Jeff and his crew for helping us with a matching grant at the county. And so I want to thank you all for your efforts, and I don't know if you were able to get a hold of Alex McBride to find out the next steps.
I did, yeah.
And you know, I'm here to help, and I'm just so excited that we'll have another nice, a universally accessible playground over there in your township.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations to you too.
Any questions?
That's awesome.
Anyone else? County Commissioner, you're here right in time. You don't look the best, but can you get us through this? But I guess that's the same way every time.
This is, I just got this from Mr. Senator Bumstead, and the number's on the back, but he said his business card has changed. So at any rate, he wanted me to deliver that to you folks. So that one's accomplished. Organizational meeting was held on the 3rd of January, and I was given the opportunity to serve as chair for another 2 years. So I thank the fellow commissioners for that, and happy to serve in that capacity, obviously. We had our county board meeting on the 20th of December. Mike Macham, the emergency, actually the 911 director, I got to check myself. He brought in Jessica Witkowski, who was honored for talking someone through the process of delivering a baby. through central dispatch. So that's something that apparently does not happen obviously very often, and it went exceptionally well. So kudos to Ms. Witkowski. Rachel Nelson, who is the treasurer, also chair of the land bank, said that they got 14 parcels. Let me see. She said that they have 14 parcels. 9 of the parcels were sold or donated, and 5 of those are very, very tiny, like little tiny strips that are adjacent to people's property. So it's kind of one of those things that's hard to even give them away. But she also has applied for $200,000 in blight elimination grant. We also signed a contract with Glenn Zaring for soil erosion and soil code enforcement. So that's done. Sheriff's Department, we put in for a couple of snowmobiles and a snowmobile trailer. So that's ongoing. We've got some access to some federal funds that we should be able to make that happen. Airport Authority, we've got a new commissioner out there, George Becker. Land Bank, we reappointed Julie Griffiths. Library, Ralph Mortensen and Terry Bennett. Park and Recreation Committee, we put Harold Beldo and Linda Cudney back on. And we have a new road commissioner, Phil Landis, took over for, I always come up with a name blank. Lives out in I believe it'd be Cleon Township.
Jeff,
No. He's been on the board quite a while.
Jim?
Jim,
Jim?
he's got the rifle shop. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, really? He resigned?
Yeah, he did re-up.
Oh, okay.
So he served out the term and that was it. So Phil Landis is on there. We also put Jeff Lawrence back on.
Jeff Lawrence, that's it.
Renee Mallison with Soil Conservation came before us, gave us their annual report. Also, I was just informed today that, because I did not make it to their dinner event, that they were voted the best soil conservation district in the state. And Renee was the best director for the soil conservation in the state. So those are some recognitions that headed their way. PA 69, which is the recycling act that some of the townships are in on. There's, I believe, 10 local units that are part of that right now. It was Pauline Jaquish, Commissioner Jaquish's last meeting. She served, I believe, 3 terms, and she was just a delight to sit on a board with. She got a tremendous sense of humor and common sense galore. Some sidebar stuff here. Occupational health. Some of you may or may not be aware, Munson does not have that going anymore. That's a major hiccup. Had conversations with Kelly Tomaszewski in regard to that. Possibly have some opportunities with the tribe. I'm pursuing that. We'll see what can happen there, but that is a major thing. I don't want to equate it to anything, but when you're trying to grow the economy with economic development stuff and you have to send people to Wexford County or Mason County to get physicals for, it doesn't square. So to be continued there. Dennis, I emailed you tonight to your private account a letter requesting for support to try to get the location on the north side of John Street off of 22 by the fairgrounds. It's a vacant strip. I think there's like 1.5 acres there. And it doesn't get used for maybe 1 week during the fair week when there could be some semis and stuff parked there. But we're looking at turning that into a recycle location. I have done some texting with Dennis in regard to that, and I also talked to Jeff Hartoon. Obviously, Onekma Township is all about it because they've been trying to get it out of their parking lot, recycling. We are applying for a grant, at least $1 million, could be up to $1.5 million when the application goes in. And to be successful, the more letters of support you have for that, the better off we are to obtain that grant. Also, you have to expand the service, so they're looking at doing some other things there, so that would be the location for the tire recycling, could have some electronic recycling, stuff along those lines. As you do have to expand it to some degree. I think that's probably about it for me for right now. Any questions? Anybody?
No, sir.
Easy.
Thank you.
Yep.
Congratulations on your reappointment.
Thank you.
Karen, anything in the zoning office?
Yes, there were 5 new written complaints, with 4 of those 5 complaints coming from one property owner. There was 1 zoning permit issued and 6 requests for construction permits. The planning commission voted to keep their officers the same, Ed Sang as chairman, Duke Edmondson as vice chair, and Mike Willett as secretary. The zoning board of appeals met and voted to keep their officers the same, Barry Elder as chairman and Stephen Dabrowski as secretary. Bigby has received their certificate of occupancy from the building department. I do not have a confirmed opening date as of yet, as they are still going through the hiring process. The planning commission approved 2 site plans and 2 special use permits at their meeting on January 4th. One project is for 8 large storage units to be located at the corner of US 31 and Kummer Road. And the other project you all know is the Manistee Place Apartments, which are market rate apartments to be located on the parcel where the old Kennedy School is. The next required step in that project is for the County Board of Commissioners to discuss and submit their recommendation regarding the establishment of the Township's Commercial Rehabilitation District. And that's it.
Any questions? Thank you. Joe was here, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, I'm just hiding.
Report on the fire department?
Yeah, we had 6.5 hours of fire-related calls, and then we had 17 hours of medical related, 8 hours of meetings and training. As officers, put in about 30 hours. Our apparatuses, we're gonna start taking them in and get oil changes and stuff, because we don't know when the last time they were. We are running the air compressor every week like it was suggested when it got put in. The air compressor is the compressor that actually fills up our SCBA station. We keep still sweeping the bays and stuff, trying to keep the station nice and clean. Equipment, we received the Helligans and Axes last month. We put them on the trucks. We have 2 on the ladder truck, 2 on the engine, and 1 on the rescue. I have looked into some quotes, for this revenue sharing cycle. I've received a few of them. I did get a quote on battery powered jaws, so I was gonna see if I can at least get half of it and see if you guys would be willing to pay the other half for the battery powered jaws. We're still recruiting, actively recruiting. I got told about possibly a couple people coming and filling out applications. Fit testing. Well, right now I'm trying to set it up. It might be February 6th for us interior people. Fit testing for our SCBA's. Last month for training, we did drive around with our trucks around the township, because they need to be driven so much, and everybody's got to have so much time behind the wheels. We did a joint ice rescue training with City and Filer We were invited by the city. And there's actually gonna be an ice rescue training next month, which a few of us are planning on taking. Some people are not certified and some people, they're offering Ice Rescue 1 and Ice Rescue 2, and some of us don't have 2, so some of us are gonna do that. And we got our pictures done for fire department IDs. Now we're just waiting for the Little River Casino to get them done for us, because they did offer to do them for us if we gave them pictures. And I did receive some paperwork on Tippy Home Pile Dam for this year. They revised it. And we put in for this 6 months for the 911 board for mobile radios, some mobile radios, some dual band pagers, and some dual band radios, handhelds. So I won't know if we get those until probably about March. And that's all I got.
Okay, questions? Thank you, Joe.
Good.
And if you would please extend our appreciation to everyone at the station. Anything, Rick, liquor inspector?
I have nothing new. Everything's been good so far.
Questions for Rick? Okay. Township updates, I don't have much to update, there's a lot going on, but Karen gave her update, and Joe gave his update, Jeff gave his update, so about the only thing that's left for me to suggest is that May of this year, it'll be 50 years that the Manistee Township Fire Department has been in operation.
Oh, yeah,
It's,
Denny, I forgot to tell you about that. We talked about it at the meeting, we're talking about having an open house this summer for 50 years, to celebrate the 50 years.
Good, well,
So,
yeah, we'll
sorry
work
about that.
together on that.
Yep.
I think a notable item is that Jim Edmondson and Jack Denson have been there since day one. They're still there. And we wouldn't have what we got today if it wasn't for people like those guys building trucks and everything that they did to get things established. Okay, item number 2, Jill Witkowski, Manistee Chamber of Commerce Leadership Program. You're up, young lady.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me come and talk to you. Y'all received one of these. Anyone want to take a look at our possible little project that we're here to talk to? So each year, the participants of the leadership program, first of all, I'll introduce myself. I'm Jill Witkowski. I work at the Manistee Intermediate School, and this year I'm participating in the leadership program that's offered through the Manistee County Chamber. We have a group of 8 individuals that get together one day a month, and we've done some really neat things. As a lifelong Manistee resident, I've seen some really neat things through this program, and I would highly recommend it. If you have a chance to go through it, check it out. So I'm just going to read through my little letter here. Each year, the participants of the leadership program choose a community project to be planned and completed over the course of 9 months. This year's leadership cohort has selected a community project that we believe will benefit the entire Manistee County community, and we would like to request your participation in our project. The 2022-2023 leadership program cohort has identified a solution to address the need for additional safety measures at our local beaches. For our community project, we will be building and installing permanent life vest loaner stations at various waterfront locations around Manistee County. We will be applying for a grant through the CTO Foundation to help offset some of the costs of the materials needed to complete the project. We will also be asking for sponsorships from local businesses who would like to be involved in the project. The leadership program, with the help of funding sources just mentioned, will cover the costs of all the materials needed to build the station, signage, and the initial vests themselves. And we will also find volunteers to help us with the installation of the stations. What we would like to ask from Manistee Township is the approval to install one life vest loaner station on Manistee Township property on Bar Lake. It would be a permanent structure. We have a picture of what we've envisioned our permanent structure as right here where right on the front page of our handout. It would be a covered structure with signage, and we would anticipate getting the life vests through the CTO Foundation. They will give us a certain amount of life vests, and then we will put them right underneath the little covered hanger thing. So, of course, you know, here's the first page, and this is really there are all kinds of these life jacket stations. This was the one that we really liked the best. We've talked with, it's amazing what other people have done along the shores of Lake Michigan. So this was the station that we liked the best. Going to page 2 of our handout, the life jacket loaner stations would work on an honor system. Borrow life jacket, return it when it's done. Our goal is to install 7 stations in Manistee County. And we have Bar Lake, but I really feel like it wouldn't be on the Bar Lake side, it would be on the Lake Michigan side of the Bar Lake outlet.
That's
the outlet.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's
Yes.
the question, yeah.
Yes, that's where I would envision. I mean, whenever I go past there, there's always people using that beach, so. And of course, each station would include signage dedicated to the sponsors, the varying size of the life jackets. We'd have instructions on how to properly fit a life jacket, water safety information. Our funding, we're looking at applying for the CTO Foundation grant. And like I said, they would give us a certain amount of life jackets, infant through extra large.
Just 1X?
Well, you know, we'll have to see what we can do.
Larger people are more buoyant.
Oh. That's why you're the chair.
So, funding for additional station materials would come from local sponsorships and donations, and we're looking at obtaining varying degrees of sponsorship based on how much is donated. And then the next page has the map, which if you look and see, you know, through the CTO Foundation, it's a pretty big gap between Sutton's Bay and Whitehall. Wouldn't it be great to have a little dot for Manistee, that we have these life jacket post stations? So our next page is Y Partner. It's a good project. We had a horrible drowning last year, and you know, we have so much water around us. Why not try to make it as safe as possible? And then the last page, of course, is picture of the fun group through the leadership. Like I said, I've been a lifelong Manistee resident, and it's just been a really fantastic program to go through.
Cool. Great idea. Excellent idea.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
We'd have to talk about location because there may be something, because the platform itself and the ramp was a grant from the Great Lakes Fisheries Trust. And whether we can add to that or not, I'm sure it's okay, but that's just a phone call that I would have to make, so. We would like to have time to look this over and research this more before we commit to anything.
Absolutely.
At this point, I see no problem. I think it's an excellent idea. I think, yeah, it's great.
Great. We thought it was a great idea too, and
We did.
So we're excited to bring it to.
So have you applied for the CTO grant already?
No, we have to have a specific coordinate in order to apply for the grant. So, once we get approval, we have a team member that's at Arcadia tonight, talking to Arcadia's board.
Okay.
And so we just have to have one approval so we can put those coordinates into the grant application.
Well, I can give you the coordinate from Bar Lake Outlet, but it doesn't give you a specific spot. It just says that's where the outlet is.
Right.
It would be in the area,
Okay,
if that's permissible.
okay. Do you think that would work?
It may, yes.
Okay. Do you have it off the top of your head, or do you?
Use your
Well, you
compass
are
app.
pretty easy.
If you're to go to the outlet, if you pull up your compass app, you'll probably get the latitude, longitude right there.
There you go, you're trying to do something without your telephone.
There you go.
So, does anyone have any questions, or,
No, I don't wanna be the devil's advocate here, but I mean, how are you gonna hang on to these?
thank you. That was my first thing.
Pardon me? Pardon me?
Well, this agreement says it's our responsibility
To maintain
to
them.
maintain the life jackets
Well, and what we
after the
would,
initial.
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't read the letter, so.
It does ask you to take responsibility after that. I thought the same thing. How many life jackets are we gonna lose? Because, kids are playing at the beach and, oh, come on, we gotta go, everybody get in the car, and, oh my gosh, we have Manistee Township's life vest. Statistics, we've talked with other people that have done these, they only are at about a 10% loss.
That's pretty,
So I was surprised at that
better
too.
than I would expect.
Yeah, I was pleasantly
I would
surprised.
expect the opposite. I would expect people that grow out of life vests still be going there and hanging them so that somebody can get some use out of it. It's
Oh,
kind of like people that rent a hall. We don't leave anything there because they might take it. Well, when you don't, they bring stuff and they leave it because they're not going to use that big volume. So
Right.
what you expect a lot of time is not what you're going to get. So I think
and I would like to hope that. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised because that was one of my,
bad situations.
that was one of my
We don't
first
hear
thoughts,
about
is
Yeah.
someone's gonna come along and swipe them all, but, and as far as maintaining, we've thought about, like, what about getting if you have someone to come and clean them or what have you over the course of the summer, check on them, check on their status. There's always NHS students that are looking for volunteer hours. That's an option. We're
I'm not saying they would, but the scouts are always looking for public service.
And
scouts,
Mhm.
absolutely.
and then in the winter, you would just need someplace to store them. Yeah.
No, I think it's an excellent idea.
I also have a question. I've seen, these stations have like throwable devices where you have a rope where you can pull somebody into in case you have a,
Life ring.
yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, if somebody swimming and goes out, you put on a life jacket, but it's a lot easier just to pull them in with a rope than to swim that person in, so that might be something to look into.
We might be able to add it.
Might be able to add maybe one on the
each
side
end,
or something.
Yes.
Well, I know it's nice out for this time of year, but it's not beach weather yet, so. Let's stay in contact on this and.
Okay.
And build a dialogue about what can be done or where we can put it or whatever.
We'll be working on the grant next Thursday, the 19th, so I don't know if,
You need the coordinates before, well, I can give, I don't know if you're gonna leave right away, but I can give it to you at the end of the meeting.
oh no, I'll stay.
Pardon me?
I was just looking for some costs.
There are no
Initially,
costs.
it's not gonna be there, we will cover everything, the cost of the building, the cost of the initial group of life jackets. We're even checking into, someone had told us about, it's a preservative that you can dip the life jackets in. And they have like this 20-year-old life jacket that still looks brand new. So we're gonna look into that as well, getting that for all of our life jackets. So then your cost would be taking care of it after, in the off-season storage, and if there was loss. I don't think that would be it, don't you?
Mhm. And I know when we were talking about having the life jackets priced out for some place local, close by, extending that pricing for years going by for the stations and the groups that are going to maintain them. So that you had to buy 10 life jackets next year instead of them being a higher price or retail price, getting the discounted price.
Okay, let's stay in touch on it.
Okay, thank you so much for listening to me today.
Sure, nice to see you. Any other questions? Okay, we have to enter into our Brown Township Fire and Medical Protection contractual agreement. We've done this for years and years and years and years and years. We increased the cost a few years ago, but as of 2023, we talked with Paul. There was a agreement that we would keep the cost the same. I do not have the number of runs that we had for Brown Township last year. They weren't many though, right, Joe?
No, there wasn't very many for that area.
So I would entertain a motion to enter into the contractual agreement between Manistee Township and Brown Township. The coverage will be maintained for standby fee of $2,000. Payable by January 31st. The fee for the fire calls will be $200 for the first hour and $100 for each additional hour or a portion of hour thereafter. Medical calls will be $100.
I make a motion that we enter into this contractual agreement with the fire and medical protection of Brown Township and Manistee.
Second.
It's been moved and supported that we enter into the contractual agreement for fire and medical protection between the Manistee Township and Brown Township. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None? Thank you. Through the hard work of the members of the Township Fire Department, for over a year, we realized that we needed to replace our 1997 rescue unit. When we first looked at this, they got bids of $250,000. But through their hard work and research and things, they think they can outfit the vehicle to suit their needs for $125,000 or less. So this resolution is to allow the township board and myself to purchase a vehicle and the necessary add-on equipment required to equip the vehicle as an emergency medical response unit to be used by our department as designed by our department.
I make a motion that we adopt resolution 2023-01, authorized to purchase a fire department emergency medical rescue unit.
No second.
Been moved supported that we pass resolution 2023-01 for the purchase of a new emergency medical response unit for the Manistee Township Fire Department. Part of the resolution stipulates that it will be paid for by local revenue sharing board grant and the Manistee Township ARPA funds. Been moved supported, any discussion?
Is that the total cost? Gonna be covered by those funds?
The entire cost, yes.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Fino,
Yes.
Ms. Jankowitz.
Yes.
Taylor is yes. Mr. Berquist.
Yes. Motion passed, resolution passed, thank you very much. Next is the resolution for 2023-02, authorization to apply for 2022 election reimbursement grant. Diane, would you shed some light on that for us, please?
The state has ARPA-type funds available to reimburse additional election costs they've made available to the townships and the counties. Because of our size of our township, we're eligible for up to $1,500 of reimbursement. But it takes an application to get the money back on monies we've spent, so I'd like to apply for that.
Entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we adopt resolution 2023-02, and that's the authorization to apply for our 2022 election reimbursement cost.
And I'll second again.
Been moved supported that resolution 2023-02 to authorize to apply for the 2022 election reimbursement grant. The amount of $1,500. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Jankowitz.
Yes.
Taylor is yes. Mr. Fino
Yes.
and Mr. Berquist.
Yes. Resolution passed. Thank you. Anything from anyone else? Anybody? Need a motion to pay the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills as provided and incoming bills as received.
I second that.
Been moved supported that we pay the bills as provided as well as incoming for the month of January. Are you gonna do February as well? Seeing we don't have a board meeting?
No, because we have, this is, he said incoming bills,
Okay, Right.
and we're covered under this and our other resolution.
okay. Been moved supported that we pay the bills as provided as well as incoming bills received. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Being none, carried. MTA meets in the spring. Zoning Board of Appeals will meet February 7th, but at this point you don't have one.
That is correct.
Here at the hall, the Planning Commission will meet Wednesday, February 1st at 9 a.m. here at the hall. And the next regular board meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Thursday, March 9th. Now, we do not have a February meeting. Any other public comment? Motion's in order.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Been moved, supported, we adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Being none, thank you all very much for your time.